Valley Forge now stands as a representation of history. It is the site of our Continental Army camped during the winter of 1777 to 1778. Replicas of the cabin huts have been reconstructed to show us how a soldier lived his life at Valley Forge. Although no battle was fought here, around 2,000 died of disease due to poor conditions and malnourishment. The Army would leave Valley Forge in June 1778 to follow the British up north. Our victory at Valley Forge was our survival.
Not long after the Army left here, these cabins were torn down. People used the firewood, probably for fence rails, like these here. Very quickly disappeared. George Washington came back to Valley Forge in the summer when they were writing the Constitution. So like just 10 years later, he said there wasn't much left of this place at all, the camp, but he remembered. And said that people were growing wheat, buckwheat, and corn out here, putting the land back into crops, which he thought was a good thing. It was now peacetime. And the outer line then would go from right where we started all the way out to that hill in the distance. That's Mount Joy. Beyond that's Mount Misery, and the creek, Valley Creek, ran between those. Those hills were named apparently by William Penn. They have nothing to do with what happened at Valley Forge. One wasn't bad, one wasn't good for anybody. Yeah.
I live on Mount Misery, but my dad wanted to live on Mount Joy, but you're not allowed to live on.
Well, the Park Service, and this is your park, owns from one half of Mount Misery over to this side. So the houses start on the far side here, Mount Misery, yep. Called Valley Forge Mountain Development.
I know why my dad wanted to stay in Mount Joy, because it's always miserable.
Oh, well. The reason the story goes back to William Penn was he was lost on Mount Misery, stuck on the bramble bushes, and when he climbed up on Mount Joy, they're both about like 600 feet high, 500 feet high. He could see the Schuylkill River, and he wasn't lost anymore. So that's where the story, those two comes from. So way before the soldiers were here.
Part of our mission here on the National Park Adventure is to get kids interested in the national parks, so it was refreshing to see a group of young kids at Valley Forge. They were having a good time looking at old weapons and learning about the soldiers who once occupied the grounds. We also met a cool guy named Daniel.
So how would you say these would probably feel?
More than uncomfortable. Yeah.
It must have been pretty tough to be a soldier back then, huh?
More than tough. I have to honestly say that.
It was really funny when the kids reenacted cannon fire and Julian joined in.
All right, soldiers, ready to fire the cannon?
Yes. Is this still fire? Oh.
Fire!
Cover your ears!
Cover your ears, men. All right, men, load the cannon. Load the cannon.
Your ears
Loaded and fire!
Daniel was a pretty cool guy. We talked with him about our journey so far and what we had seen. He had a great respect for the national parks and was looking forward to seeing our finished videos. We also talked to him about the best food in Philadelphia and where to get it. Or rather, Chris and Julian did. I just held the camera.
All right, so Daniel, tell us, why do you think it's important for young people to come out to national parks?
This is America. We are Americans. And this is American history.
This is the Valley Forge gift shop, where they got toy guns, and they got real guns in that museum over there. They just got a lot of guns.
Valley Forge has a visitor center that is mostly a museum and a gift shop. The museum had tons of cool artifacts from the American Revolution, and the gift shop had tons of cool stuff that looked like artifacts from the Revolution, including hats and guns, which Julian played with for over an hour. You know, I really had no idea how much fun a grown man could have with fake guns until this national park adventure. Thanks, Julian.
This is the National Park Adventure.
Welcome to Valley Forge.
Hey, surprise! What do you think? Is it me? Huh? Good? Bang! Bang! Bang!
Dude.
Bang! You're dead. You're dead. I killed you.
No. Dude, no. which means you want to hit. Valley Forge is a good place for us beavers.
So Daniel, how do you think it would be carrying this musket for hours on end?
Just from holding it right here like this, it wouldn't be enjoyable. It would be a long, arduous trip at that. I think just going down the block holding that would hurt.
But you look cool.
Yeah.
Daniel knew much more about war and history than we did, so it was great having him tag along and explain a lot of details about the park and what went on here. A lot of old guns were on display that were a great attraction not only to the young boys, but also to Julian.
Ah, surprise, Chris!
So Daniel, what is that?
Well, that right there is an early tooth extraction device, or at least that's how I would like to put it. See what they do with it, they stick it into a soldier's mouth, wrap it around the tooth, and continue to twist it like a key, and then pull the tooth out. You can tell most of these surgeon's tools do not look friendly at all. These right here were used to heat and cauterize wounds. You've got an old amputation knife, some scalpels. What would be today's bone saw.
Looks extremely painful.
Yeah. If you're a soldier in 1776, don't get shot. There's a rich culture here. You can learn a lot in any point in time. You can learn just so much just by walking down there and taking a look at one or two exhibits. It just gives you an overall feel of where we came from. I get really psyched up about it. I just love coming in here, seeing all the American history, getting to actually witness the tradition of the institution that I am in, that I am entering. Another thing, a lot of people my age don't come to national parks, but I just think that it's a rich experience for people to come in and learn a little bit about their own history.
You know, it's a little bit surreal being here. I feel a connection to our American heritage because this is where our first American army once stood. And knowing that George Washington was here and some of the first freedom fighters, you know, it's just a really magical feeling, and I highly recommend coming here because if we don't preserve our American culture, if we don't pass that on to the next generation, then no one's gonna keep these national parks. So I'd say, you know, go to a national park around somewhere where you live, and I mean, it'll be an experience you won't forget.
Who wants bacon for breakfast? Because I got this frying pan. Doesn't look very clean, but it gets the job done. I got some gruel for breakfast, more gruel for lunch, and what's for dinner? Oh, more gruel. Oh, great. Okay. Hey, you had your gruel already. What are you doing back?
Please, sir, may I have some more?
No, I already gave you some gruel.
Man, come on, what's some gruel?
All right. Here's some more gruel.
Yay, gruel!
Yeah, enjoy it. It's gonna be your last. We filmed that last scene right before it started raining, so
We saved the camera there.
save the camera.